Hi everybody, today we're going to talk about making necklaces with tassels. And it's not like I never did that before, that we never had this discussion before, but more and more you see how popular tassels are, whether they're fiber, chain, metal, you name it, they make tassels out of it. And normally it's just a simple tassel and long chain, which is fine, especially for layering, but you know me, I don't do anything simple. But I'm trying to break it down so it has a better line, a better flow. So I have 3 different necklaces employing types of tassels to give you some new ideas as to ways that you could go with your tassel jewelry to just kind of change it up a little bit, make it more your own, and make it stand out a little bit more. So come on over here and I'm going to show you how I did it. Okay, so you might wonder what in the world is this? It doesn't look like a tassel, does it? No. But these are very interesting Bisou artifacts, and I hope that you will find them encouraging. These were made probably 89. And they are probably the oldest Bisou jewelry that anybody anywhere has, except for the very, very first pin I made, which I happen to have upstairs, and it's really pitiful. But these are really, really early, and this is back from when I was doing shows and stuff like that. And they are friendly plastic from the craft store, abalone or power shell, I guess. A little bit of this, a little bit of that. These are watercolor paper with resin. You know, I've told you I've been playing with resin for 25 years. We'll make it like closer to 30 because this is resin over watercolor paper. And you know, when I look at these, they were so fun. They were so fun, but they're just so long and big, and who would ever wear this? But we found them in a drawer in fairly pristine condition, even on the cards, because Jordan was about 5 years old, and I was downstairs here making this stuff. And he says, "Mom, I love the earrings. Can't we please give some to Grandma Lois?" And so I said, "Well, you pick out a couple that you like, and you take them to her next time she watches you." So he took them over to Grandma Lois, and she stuck them in a drawer and forgot about them. Because really, this was the style back then for younger people, but it's not really Grandma Lois's style, though she liked glitz, she really did. But anyway, we found them over there when we moved her over to the nursing home. But I did find something that was evidence, and I'll show you what it is. These are clip earrings, since Lois only ever wore clip earrings. Back then, you tend to make some clip earrings because a lot of people, for the heavier stuff. On the back here, it's broke. She had worn this and dropped it. So it kind of warmed my heart a little bit to see that there's this evidence that Lois had probably really worn them. And then, oh, these are my earring cards too. I used to make them, you can see, still has my same signature that I have to this day that I use on my website. In fact, it's part of my logo. It's my same logo signature that I always had. Let me show you these, because people, they like to see how did you start out. There's this black poster paper, and I found these little stickers someplace from a craft store, and I had the gold marker, and I would just take a big ruler or a yardstick and mark off big pieces of poster board, different shapes and sizes, whatever I thought would suit the need, and then I would sign them down in the corner. And this is about the time too that I became Bisou, because I got tired of writing Brenda Sue, and I became Bisou, and this is stuck ever since, and to this day it's part of my logo, and people call me Bisou too, and that's fine. But you can see they're very humble. But another evidence that we found that Lois had actually worn these was that they were put on the card backwards, and I wouldn't have done that. So she probably couldn't tell which side was which. She just wore them one time because she wanted to, because Jordan had given them to her. But they're, besides that one piece being broken, they're relatively pristine. And I have really nothing from this period. So when they came back to me, although it was bittersweet, that was a really special thing to have. I'm so glad that she saved them in the drawer like that. So there's a little story for today. And I'm going to put them aside now. Geez, I'd like to make that again. It was so much fun. It was. I don't know who would wear it, but it was fun. Anyway, we have 3 different styles of tassels today, or tassel-like pieces. I like something hanging at the bottom because I feel that some types of motifs that don't stay up close to the throat, when you hang them a little bit longer, say 20, not 20, maybe 22, 24 inches or longer, sometimes they'll tend to rock to a side or one side or the other. And so if you put something hanging from the bottom, then you'll have more balance. Let me show you what I mean instead of just showing you this white piece of paper, which is oh so boring. And Javi's going to have to tell me if I'm in the frame. How we doing? We're in there? Okay. All right. This centerpiece, this butterfly, is the matte black from BisouBoutiques.com. And we still have quite a few of these. So come get one. I distressed it a little bit, so that's why you see that coppery color coming up to the back. And this is vintage chain, and this is a piece from Bisou by 1928. We have lots of these little sprigs. I love them, love them, love them. They just are so delicate. They have little leaves and little flower, and when you have to look at them closely to see how much detail's in them. But then there's one of those tulip caps that I like, and I've made a tassel hanging at the bottom. And the flow on this is really good. But what's different about this is I could have just stopped here. Let's pull that out. And just done a butterfly on there. And honestly, it would have been cheaper to make. I could have done one strand. It just wouldn't have had the appeal. This is, you know, like this, it's a cute little piece of jewelry. Like this, it's a statement piece. But it's not too over the top and it's not heavy. So how did I get this on the back? Being as how there's no other holes. Well, you probably figured it out already, but if you haven't, I'll just turn it over and I'll show you. I took another piece of this chain here, and I made a little necklace part there. One piece here, one piece here, and then I connected it. And again, the way that you make your tassel, if you want to go back to my tassel video, which was one of the first ones Javi was ever even in, you can see all you do is just take a jump ring, open it up, and thread your bits of chain and whatnot on there. That's it. And then you take it and you jump ring it to an eye pin and draw it up through the tulip cap and your other assorted beads. Bring it up and loop it, twist it. I like to do the wire wraps. And hang it. That's it. Now, another thing you could do, and I often do, I didn't have time, but normally I would have, is I would have straightened these up a little bit longer. I like them to be different lengths. I like it to be a little bit shaggy and raggedy. But then I'll hang something from the bottom. But I didn't this time because I ran out of time. So I might do that yet, or not. It might be just fine the way it is. If I don't add any more to this design, I keep the cost down. So you have to think of that too when you're making things. And a lot of times we so tend to make things just for ourselves and for our own aesthetic and what makes us happy. But you need to think about making your customer happy. Make someone happy. If you make them happy, they'll buy your stuff, and then you can buy the stuff you need to keep going and build your business. When I made these little earrings, we were doing $300-400 on a Saturday at a craft show. Within probably 3-4 years, we're making $100,000 a year. Not making this style of jewelry. But we grew rapidly. And then we kind of stalled out. But anyway, no, we went on to other things. But I'm just saying, just telling you that. You can grow rapidly if you have the right thing for the time at the right price. So you need to think about cost. But at the same time, you want to give people something. You don't want to just give them, you know, give them a piece of your heart, you know. But watch your costs when you're doing it, okay? You'll have to figure that all out. But you know what? You're smart. You can. I have confidence in you. So let me just put this aside. And now I'll bring you to the next one. And this is almost a bridal look, or very, very fancy. There's not a lot to it, but oh, how it sparkles and oh, how it shines. That's a line from a song. Who sang that? You Look So Good in Love by George Strait. I think it was George Strait, wasn't it? Yeah. Anywho, getting back to the subject, which I'm always coming off of it. Is that all in there, Javi? Okay. You can see how I did this. It's very, very simple. This chain is vintage chain. Well, it's not vintage chain. It's manufacturer's overrun. But you can see how it's made. I did not do that. But there's no reason why you couldn't. These are like little, 3mm. Almost like a bicone. And they're just hooked together like that and then drawn back into the jump. And they make a little diamond shape. Isn't that clever? But I did not do that, I'll be honest. I don't tend to work that tiny. But some of you like that. That's really popular right now to work tiny like that. So if you've got the time for it again, thinking, do I have time for this? What will it yield for me? If you sit there and you spend 3-4 hours trying to work this out and put it together, you just lost your money because people aren't going to pay just so much. But anyhow, that's how I made it. And these again are the 1920 Bisou by 1928 and the old silver, a little leaf drop. I put some little check beige pearl, glass pearls here. This in the center is Bisou by 1928 as well. And then here at the end, the finial. I like to make extenders and put finials on all my bracelets, not bracelets, necklaces, because for me, they look finished. If a manufacturer just takes and puts a piece of chain here on the end so that you could extend it, that's a lovely thing because a lot of people want that option. However, if you do not put a finial of some kind, even if it's just a little bead at the end, to me, my opinion is, the piece doesn't look like you cared. That's me. Don't take any offense, but that's me. It just looks like you maybe should stick something on there. So give your people a little something maybe, huh? Finish it off, but it doesn't have to be crazy hard. You can see I just cut these lengths, attach them here, and this is my tassel. The 3 pieces dangling, and it's beautiful. This just sparkles so much when you wear it. So anyway, that's another idea. And you can use it with any kind of chain. You adapt the idea. We have these parts, this piece, the middle piece, and the finial. She sells tons of these. I should probably get 2 rows just for me. I use a lot of them. These are all Bisou by 1928 components. They're sold at BisouBoutiques.com. We have them in the rusted iron, and in the gingerbread, and in the old silver. There might be some in raw too. Check and see if you want to colorize it your way. Okay, done with that one. Now here's our last one. And you may look at this and say, I don't know if that's a tassel, but it is to me. So it's a tassel. Okay, let me get it to lay flat. Now this one's me. This is like so totally me. You know, the more tchotch that's hanging on something, you know, I tend to gravitate to this. It's just me. Goes back to my beginnings. And I don't know if this is really done yet either. Javi, tell me when it's all in the frame. Is it all in there?
Yeah.
It's all in there? Okay. So we got a lot of Bisou by 1928 in here. And I like to incorporate them in my pieces that I show you now because we would really like to see you use this stuff. We made a new Pinterest board called Bisou by 1928 Designers and Manufacturing Partners. That is at Pinterest, and some of our group, they're so lovely. I would never ask them to do this, but they started to call out in their Etsy's on their listings for their designs that they were a manufacturing partner with me because they use Bisou by 1928. So we're trying to get this product out there so more people try it and more people will enjoy it because it's lovely and you can't get it anywhere else. And my goodness, it's vintage 1928. It was made just for us. That's just how special it is. So try it, and you know, if you get more than $50 worth of it in your cart, you can put in code BSUE1928 and the website will take 25% off that product only in your cart. That's not bad. That's like worth coming over and trying it, right? Because you could get some other stuff that you need and then throw a few pieces of that in there and then stick that coat in there. And also over $50 we're free shipping now too. Did you know that? That's pretty sweet too. Who loves you, baby, right? Okay, so let's just get on to this. Because Javi says, I want dinner. She says, you know, I don't want to be here till 9 o'clock rendering this video, Aunt Brenda. Okay, so to get back to it, so we have on this, we have this piece, this mount. This is Bisou by 1928, and this was actually a piece of raw pewter that I colorized with darkening patina. Underneath it, we have one of my favorite brass stampings. I use it so many different ways. Right now we have them in raw brass, we have them in rose ox, and we have them in silverware right now in stock. But I will have more in the other colors soon. Use it constantly. This piece in the middle is Bisou by 1928. It's a mount that we have that's a connector mount. It has a connector this end, a connector this end, and this is, I believe it's landscape jasper. I love landscape jasper. And this is a really pretty piece. It's got little delicate veining in it. This is so pretty. This piece in the middle is also Bisou by 1928. It's a little bezel with a hanger up here and 3 holes at the bottom. And from that comes my so-called tassel, which is consisting of 3 pieces of chain, 1 longer in the middle for balance. Then over that is an old key, some little check pearls. Here's another little mini old key. Here's a little gunmetal heart probably from the Busted Bling or something. And then here's the sorority key. I call it that because it reminds me of. But it's a finding that they have used over the years in 1928 jewelry, a good bit. And I was able to get it for the line. Thank you very much, Mel. So I've set it with little 10 by 8 cameos. They're little check cameos, classic cameos in black matte. Very easy to work with this. Very easy. I'm using it all the time. Such a great accent piece. And we have them in all the colors as well. But that's a tassel. It's a tassel. Is that coming up, hubby? No. It's a tassel. I want them to see how it drapes. How's that? Working? Yes, no, maybe? Bring it forward?
Yeah.
She says. Okay. So anyway, she's got some good pictures for later too. So, and oh, in the middle here, this is iced enamels, and it has magic gloss resin over top of it. Now, I don't know if this is quite done, and this is why. You might say, well, don't you think you got enough on there? Yeah, but I like balance. So I have all this tchotch going down the bottom, and up here I have this fabulous chain. It must have been in the manufacturer samples or something. But if you can see it, it's so neat. I wish I could get like serious yardage of this because it's little tiny rat coils. I mean, you could take this, there would be no waste with this. You could take these out and use them for other things too, but I've done the whole thing with it, and I really shouldn't have because I'm going to run out of this chain, and who knows what, I can ever get more. But I'm thinking to balance it out with the bottom and the colors and the different mixed metals. There's a lot of mixed metals in here, which I love. Maybe split it here and here, here and here, here and here, here and here, and put some sort of little pearl bead or a stone bead or something that coordinates with the rest of it and breaks this line up a little bit, and maybe use a little bit less chain because this kind of looks like it needs a little bit more love to me. Anyway, I want to show you one last thing before we're done here. If you want to put things on these triangle filigree, and I've done it so many ways. One day we'll do a video on that too. But the way I do is I begin this way. I turn the piece over and I mount to it, or I glue to it, this guitar pick shape pad. And then I'll lay it on a piece of plastic because sometimes a little bit will seep through of the E6000 and stick to stuff and it'll pick things up. You don't want it to do that. Plastic could just peel off. So I'll put it in there and let that set up. And then what I do is I have a backing for whenever I glue to the front, any glue that will come through from the back of this will hit this. And so you will not see glue glurping out through the filigree. That's the whole point of it. Because, yeah, you could bind an opposing filigree to it like we do in cage work, but this is dimensional. It's dapped, which means it's kind of concave, I guess. And so it doesn't lay flat. So if you bind two together, one to the back, it's not going to lay flat on you either and not look good. So you need it like this in the back. But what else is so nice about this, and as you can see, I've not done it yet, but you know how I tell you to sign your work? I will sign this by hand using a Dremel freehand, as you've seen me do before. I've done it all these years, and it will be my logo that I had oh so long ago. And the back are not that big. But we're done with a Dremel, because that's how I sign my work. Anyway, and you can see here too evidence. It's 1928. In case you didn't ever pick up on this, when you see this pattern on the back of a finding, it's 1928. That's their signature. That's their signature. My signature I have to write with a Dremel. Okay. So anyway, guys, here are your 3 ideas. Let me line them up next to each other. They're probably not going to lay out just right, but you can see they're all quite different. They have similar elements. I think in a way they speak my voice. People who know my work might say, yeah, Brenda made that. Maybe not so much this one, but yeah, maybe, because of the little pearls hanging off. People say different times to me nowadays, when we see a piece that looks earthy and it has a tassel on it, we wonder right away if you made it. So there you go. That's what you want. You want people thinking, that looks like so-and-so. That's their style. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed the ideas. Hang in there. If you're new to this and you have the dream of becoming a jewelry designer and supporting yourself the way I did so long ago, it can still be done. It can still be done. Now, believe me, I didn't get rich back then, and I'm not getting rich now, because it's also sometimes an expensive business to be in. So you go into it for the love. And if you go into it for the love, you might just be able to support yourself. Maybe you'll even do pretty good at it and make money. So if you have that dream, please know it's totally possible. Especially when you make someone happy. Think of your customer. It is not all about you. It never is. All right. But have fun. Figure it out. You will. Have a great day. Have a great weekend, because after all, this is Friday. And we'll see you down along the video trail as soon as I can get her together again. All right? All right. Go for it, guys. Bye.